Welcome to NCAS-M, students, scientists, and stakeholders, where you will learn all there is to know about NCAS-M. I'm your host and current NCAS-M fellow, Camryn Billett. We are a student-led podcast designed to help you explore all educational and career opportunities available here at NOAA through NCAS-M. On this podcast, you'll hear stories and conversations from students about their current and past experiences working here. You'll get to understand our mission and hopefully come join us. Today, we are joined by Alycia Tripplett, who is a current student at Jackson State University in Mississippi. Alycia and I spent a short week together when we participated in the NCAS-M summer internship program. Alycia, welcome.
Hey, Cameron. Thank you for having me.
So before we truly get started, Alycia, I just want to ask you what your major was going into the NCAS-M summer internship program.
I was and still am a junior meteorology major, math minor.
You're a junior meteorology major, mathematics minor, and how did you first get involved with NOAA or NCAS-M?
Okay, so NOAA, I was first introduced to the summer of 2018. I had just graduated high school, and my mom found the NOAA Geosciences Bridge program that's hosted at University of Maryland Eastern Shore. And there, I met one of the meteorology professors that's here at Jackson State, Dr. Reddy, and he really pushed me to apply to NCAS-M ETSP.
So before you came to Jackson State University, you were already interested in meteorology?
Yeah, I sort of had like an epiphany. My senior year of high school, I was a dual enrollment student. So I was taking high school courses and college courses at Kennesaw State University in Kennesaw, Georgia. And I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And so I was just taking classes to see what I was interested in. And believe it or not, I took an intro to criminal justice class because I thought I wanted to be a judge, but I realized that you had to be a lawyer to be a judge, and I didn't want to be a lawyer. So I took an intro to criminal justice class, and I was taking a weather and climate class at the same time. And we got to the severe weather portion of the class, and I got a 102 on the test. And at that point in time, I had never gotten a 100 on any test. And I was like, okay, maybe I should do something with this. And around that same time, I had received my scholarship offer from Jackson State.
So it ended up all being fate, right?
Definitely an act of God.
Yes. So it ended up all coming together, and you met your professor for high school. He ended up training you to join NCAS-M. Can I ask what your project consisted of that summer for NCAS-M?
Okay, so my project looked at the high winds and the heat flux of Hurricane Harvey, and I tied that to the storm surge models to see if the unprecedented heat flux and high winds affected what the models were predicting for the storm surge to be in the Texas area.
And what did they predict?
Basically, that the storm surge was going to be lower than what it was because they were, models base their information off of past events. And nothing like Hurricane Harvey had ever happened. Hurricane Harvey actually made landfall twice. So that also had to be factored into the storm surge modeling as well. And the heat flux and the high winds went into all of that because, again, Hurricane Harvey was a very powerful storm system. It grew rapidly as far as winds and speed. I think it changed from like a category 2 to a category 5 within the span of like 12 hours, if I'm not mistaken. And so the models had no clue that was going to happen. So they were saying that the surge was going to be lower and it was higher.
So that sounds like the weather is like pretty unpredictable, correct?
Definitely.
Would you say that you enjoyed this internship? Did you not enjoy this internship, or did this internship impact the way that you decided to move further in your academic career?
It definitely impacted me because I'm not a tropical weather gal. That's not my thing. Tropical weather is, well, all weather is finicky, but
Mhm.
tropical weather is very finicky. And I just don't think that I have the patience for it. So I'm not interested in pursuing anything in tropical weather. But I am very thankful for the experience and to be able to say that I don't like tropical weather.
Yeah, I often tell people who are younger than me or coming into college that, you want to get as many internships as you can, because it's just as important knowing what you don't want to do as it is important as knowing what you want to do. It's a lot easier to cancel things out and narrow in on something than to just narrow in on something out of like a bunch of options that you haven't even tried yet. That summer that we both had the internship, your focus was on meteorology. My focus was also, on climate and atmospheric sciences, but mine was on physics. And it had a lot to do with basically how the Saharan aerosols travel from Africa and affect our climate here in North America. And so with that internship, it made me realize like, yes, I like physics, but I don't necessarily like this kind of physics, atmospheric physics. I wonder if there's something else I could do. And then when we all came together and I saw like some of our other interns in the program who were focused strictly on like communications. So like they were taking some of the data that I collected and some of the data that you collected, and we're communicating those findings to the public and how they impacted our weather. And so I'm also grateful for having that opportunity, because not only did it show me like maybe what I didn't want to do, but it also showed me that like, maybe if I want to do something else, I still might be able to have a future here at NOAA. After your internship, did you feel like you were going to have a future at NOAA? Did you want to, and not know how? How did that internship impact the way you saw not only NOAA but NCAS-M in the future?
Yeah, so I am currently still a NOAA intern. I am not an NCAS-M fellow, but I am a NOAA EPP scholar.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so we had to, as part of our agreement for ETSP, we had to apply to EPP and Hollings, and I was fortunate enough to receive EPP.
Just for our audience to know and understand what we're saying, NCAS-M ETSP is NOAA Atmospheric Sciences and Meteorology Experiential Training Summer Program. And that's the one that me and Alycia both met at. I know you guys are hearing a lot of acronyms, and I just want to make sure we don't skip over anything. You said NOAA EPP. Could you tell us what that is as well?
I sure can. NOAA, it's very long-winded, but it is the NOAA Educational Partnership Program with Minority Serving Institutions Undergraduate Scholarship Program.
Whew. See,
Right.
now you guys see why we abbreviate. I just want to make sure you guys understood what we were talking about. So at No EPP, being an intern, can you tell us a little bit about like what you currently do?
Yeah. Okay. So EPP is a basically a 2-year scholarship program. So I started this summer 2020, and I will graduate from the program in 2022. So the summers you have an internship at a NOAA facility. It could be a National Weather Service office. It could be a marine fishery. You could work with ocean atmospheric research at NOAA headquarters in Silver Spring, Maryland. There's a lot of potential places to go during the summer. But during your school years, the first school year is is research, like on campus research, and then the second year of involvement will be a public service project. So I am currently I finished my first internship this past summer, and this school year I was doing my research program.
That's really cool. So you get like an education opportunity. You also get a career opportunity, and you also get to do um, community service, right?
Yeah.
So first, congratulations to you. And second, in the scholarship program, what does that completely entail?
Okay. So during your 2 summer internships, you receive you get you they pay you like you're an actual like NOAA employee, and then during the school year, they the amount I received, well, everybody received, is $4,750 every semester, as long as you are eligible to, renew your EPP scholarship again. So you receive that every fall and spring for your 2-year involvement, and they pay you the second summer internship too, the same amount of money.
So not only do you like get to have like training in your field, research in your field, service in your field, but also take some of that like financial burden off as well.
Yes, because I go to school for free, so all of that goes in my pocket.
We always hear about the unpaid internship, and you're always worrying like, oh, I hope I don't fall into that, because sometimes people don't have a choice. But as you mentioned it, as I mentioned, you know, I am glad that NOAA compensates its student workers well. You know, I think that to balance school and a 3.2 GPA at least, and research and work for NOAA and everything, the financial burden being taken off is also just another plus. And I think it really makes you feel valued there.
Yeah, I am very fortunate to. I'm going on my fourth internship this summer. I'm fortunate enough to have not had an unpaid internship at all.
So, with all of these amazing things that NOAA has to offer, what are your postgrad plans, and do you see NOAA in that future?
Yeah, so I am interested in pursuing a career in emergency management after I graduate. Um, and so, and while I want to get a master's degree in emergency management, but as I was looking at programs, I noticed that most of them were online. And considering that we've done online school for a year now, possibly two, depending on what they do next year, I've decided that maybe it's not best for me to transition from undergrad to online graduate school. So I discovered FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, has something similar to Peace Corps called FEMA Corps, where basically you would work with FEMA for a year and be dispatched to different disaster locations and help out with their efforts there, whether it be, preparation and planning or mitigation or response.
That sounds really, really cool and really just amazing and admirable. And I really think it just ties into NCAS-M's, mission, because, their goal is definitely to educate the next generation in certain atmospheric sciences and meteorology. You have decided that you love meteorology, you enjoy pursuing it, but you want to turn around and help your community and be able to plan for them and help them in a time of weather crisis. And I think that's really admirable.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to say thank you for coming on to our first episode of NCAS-M, Students, Scientists, and Stakeholders.
I appreciate the opportunity.
We hope you enjoyed today's conversation and learned something new about NCAS-M. As always, there's a place here for you, and we encourage you to apply at ncasm.org. Thank you for tuning in to NCAS-M, Students, Scientists, and Stakeholders. If you liked today's episode, please subscribe and share with your friends.